Another day, another low-level repair, he muttered to himself. June was 23 years old with short black hair and tired eyes. His blue work uniform had a small name tag that simply read J. Kim Tech. He had worked at Quantum Core for only 8 months. Most days he fixed broken screens, carried heavy boxes and brought coffee to the important scientists. The research building was huge. It had 10 floors above ground and 5 below. Most of the best labs were in the underground levels. That's where the non-human scientists worked on their biggest projects. June rarely got to see those areas. Today he was bringing replacement parts to level 3. As he turned a corner, he heard a strange noise coming from behind a door marked Restricted Area, Authorized Personnel Only. The sound was like an angry animal mixed with a broken computer. June stopped his cart. He knew he should keep walking. Going into restricted areas could get him fired right away. But the noise got louder, and it sounded like something was going very wrong. Just a quick look, he told himself. If something is breaking, maybe I can help. He slowly pushed the door open a few inches. Inside was a large, round room filled with blinking machines. In the center stood a tall, broad-shouldered figure with light green skin and 4 arms. June recognized him immediately. It was Dr. Katal, one of the most famous scientists in the galaxy. Humans called him Big Shaq because his deep voice and impressive size reminded them of a famous Earth rapper from years ago. Big Shaq was working frantically on a tall machine that glowed with red light. The machine was making the strange noise June had heard. Unstable reading, bad connection. System will fail soon, Big Shaq shouted at the machine. His 6 fingers on each hand moved quickly over the controls, but the red glow only got brighter. June could see small data screens from where he stood. He had worked on similar systems during his training. This was an atmospheric converter, a machine that could change the air on whole planets to make them livable. If it exploded, it would destroy. Months of research. Before he could stop himself, June pushed the door all the way open and walked in. "Sir, I think the sound pattern is backward," he said. Big Shaq turned around quickly. His golden eyes grew wide with surprise and anger. "Humans not allowed here. This area for senior scientists only." "I know, sir. I'm sorry," June said, stepping back a little. "But I can see from here that the quantum patterns are moving the wrong way." He pointed to one of the screens. "See how the blue lines cross over the red ones? That means everything is backward." Big Shaq looked at June, then at the screen. The machine made a loud bang and more red lights started flashing. "Only 3 minutes until failure," Big Shaq said. He seemed torn between following the rules and saving his work. After a moment, he moved to the side. "Show me what you see." June quickly stepped up to the control panel. His heart beat fast. He had never touched such advanced equipment before, but he remembered something from his classes. Sometimes the simplest answer was the right one. These systems get confused when their timing is off, June explained as his fingers moved across the touchscreens. Most people try to reset them or force them back to normal patterns, but sometimes you need to go with the mistake, not against it. June didn't try to fix the backward flow. Instead, he matched other systems to the wrong pattern, then slowly began turning everything together. It was like steering a car that was sliding on ice. You turn into the slide, not against it. The machine's angry red glow slowly changed to orange, then yellow, and finally a calm blue. The terrible noise stopped. All the readings returned to normal. Big Shaq stood silently, watching the screens. His 4 arms hung at his sides. "How did you know this would work?" he finally asked. "No textbook teaches this method." June shrugged. "Human thinking, I guess. We learn to work with problems, not just solve them directly. My teacher called it dancing with chaos instead of fighting it." Big Shaq studied June with new interest. "What is your name, young human?" "June Kim, sir. Junior Technician, Level 2 clearance." "Well, June Kim, you have just saved 3 years of research." Big Shaq's large mouth formed what might have been a smile. "But you have also broken 17 security rules by being here." June's heart sank. He hadn't thought about that in his rush to help. "I'm sorry, sir. I just heard the problem and thought I could help." "Help you did," Big Shaq said. "But rules exist for reasons. I must report this incident." He looked at the now properly functioning machine. though I will also report how you solved a problem that none of my team could fix." Joan nodded, knowing he was probably going to lose his job. Still, seeing the beautiful blue glow of the working machine made him feel that it had been worth it. "Sometimes," he said softly, "you have to break the rules to do the right thing." Big. Shaq's golden eyes blinked slowly. An interesting human perspective. Very interesting indeed. June sat in a hard chair outside Director Sue Park's office. His hands felt cold. The minutes passed slowly as he waited. People walked by, some human, some alien. They all looked busy and important. No one looked at him. Finally, the door opened. "Come in, Mr. Kim," said a thin voice. Director Park was a small woman with short grey hair and a face that rarely smiled. Her office was clean and empty of personal things. Just a desk, 3 chairs, and large windows showing the city below. "Do you know why you're here?" she asked. Her voice was calm but cold. "Yes, ma'am, about yesterday in the restricted lab," June said. Director Park picked up her tablet and hit it hard on the desk. The sound made June jump. "Security breach of—" "The highest order," she shouted, her calm gone. "You went into a place you were not allowed to go." "Ma'am, I can explain. I don't want explanations. I want rules to be followed." Her dark eyes stared at him. "Do you know what was in that room?" Technology that could change whole planets. Technology that other companies would steal if they could. June stood straight, trying to look professional. Inside, he felt his heart dropping like a stone. "Director Park, Dr. Katal's machine was about to break down. Years of his work would have been lost. I only wanted to help." "That's not your job," she snapped. Her hand cut through the air. "Not your concern, not your place. Who do you think you are, some hero, some genius?" "No, ma'am, just a junior technician who thinks he knows better than our security system." She tapped her screen. "Dr. Katal reported what happened. Yes, you fixed his machine. Yes, you saved his work. But that doesn't matter." June tried once more. The atmospheric converter could help billions of people. Planets that can't be lived on now could... "Stop talking." Director Park's words fell like ice. "Protocols exist for reasons beyond what you can understand. This isn't about one machine or one project. It's about order. It's about security." She turned the tablet to face him. On the screen was his employee file with a red mark across it. "Your employment is terminated. Effective immediately. You will return your company badge, access card, and uniform before leaving the building." June felt like all the air had left his lungs. "Today, right now." "Right now, Mr. Kim, security will watch you clean out your locker. Your final pay will be sent to your account." Her face showed no emotion. "That will be all." 2 hours later, June walked slowly through the streets of New Alexandria with a small box of his things. The city was huge, a place where humans and 23 alien species lived together. But they didn't really live together. Each group had its own area. The human district was one of the smallest and oldest. The buildings were short and packed close together. As June walked, he looked up at the alien sectors rising high above. Beautiful. Glass towers that reached toward the sky. Their lights were coming on as evening fell, bright colors that seemed to mock him. 8 months of work, gone in 5 minutes, he said to himself. June Kim wiped sweat from his face as he pushed a cart full of tools down the long, bright hallways of Quantum Core Industries. The lights above him made everything look clean and new. His arms hurt from working all day. Being a junior technician meant he did all the small jobs no one else wanted to do. His apartment was on the 4th floor of an old building. The elevator worked sometimes. Today, it didn't. June climbed the stairs, his box feeling heavier with each step. The apartment was small. Just one room with a tiny kitchen area and bathroom. A bed, a desk, a chair, and a small table. Not much, but it was his, at least for now. June put his box down and sat on the bed. He opened his financial app on his tablet. The numbers were not good. He had saved enough for 3 months of rent. After that, nothing. Going back to Earth wasn't an option. The journey would take 17 months and cost more money than he had. Besides, he had promised himself he wouldn't go back until he had succeeded. Some success, he muttered. Outside his window, the sounds of the city continued. Vehicles moving, people talking, music playing. Life going on. June started to put his few belongings away, clothes in the small closet, books on the shelf, pictures of his family on the desk. As he worked, his mind kept going back to the restricted lab, the red glow of the failing machine, the look of surprise on Big Shaq's face when the problem was solved. I'd do it again, June realized. He stopped unpacking. Anne stood by the window looking out at the city lights. Even knowing I'd get fired, the work Big Shaq was doing could change everything. The atmospheric converter could make dead planets livable. It could give homes to millions of people who had none. It could help whole species that were running out of space. Worth it, June decided. Completely worth it. He would find another job. There were factories that hired humans. The pay was low and the work was hard, but it would keep him here in New Alexandria. Maybe someday he'd get another chance to work with the advanced technology. As night fell over the city, June made a simple dinner and planned his next steps. He didn't feel happy about losing his job, but he didn't feel regret either. Sometimes doing the right thing meant facing hard consequences. Tomorrow, he told himself as he got ready for bed, I'll start looking for a new job. Tonight, I'll just be glad I helped. June woke up to the sound of rain hitting his window. It was early, not even 7 in the morning. He hadn't slept well. Being fired from your job did that to a person. He lay in bed staring at the ceiling, wondering what to do next. No point waiting, he said to himself. Need to find work today. He was about to get up when his communication tablet beeped. The Qum screen lit up with an incoming message. June frowned. Who would be calling him so early? He tapped the screen. A formal-looking message appeared. At the top was the gold and blue symbol of the Galactic Science Academy, the most famous research center in this part of space. June sat up quickly, his heart beating faster. Attention, June Kim, the message read. Your presence is requested. At the Galactic Science Academy at 10 hours today, Dr. Katal will meet you at the main entrance. This is a matter of significant importance. June read the message 3 times. The Galactic Science Academy? Dr. Katal wanted to see him? It didn't make sense. Maybe they want me to sign something about what I saw in the lab, he thought. Or maybe they want to make sure I don't talk about their work. Whatever the reason, he had to go. The Academy was the center of all important scientific work in New Alexandria. Scientists from 100 planets worked there. June showered and put on his best clothes, clean black pants and a simple blue shirt. He didn't have many nice things. Most of his money had gone toward rent and food. The trip to the Academy took almost an hour. June had to take 3 different public transports. As the last one carried him across the city, he could see the Academy growing larger in the distance. It was a huge round building with 5 tall towers reaching up from it. The morning sun made the white walls shine. Last stop, Galactic Science Academy, called the driver. June stepped off the transport with a small group of people. Most were aliens of different species, all wearing the special coats that marked them as Academy workers. He felt out of place among them. The main entrance was a set of tall doors made of a clear material that looked like glass but was stronger than steel. Standing in front of them, bigger than June remembered, was Dr. Katal, Big Shaq himself. The human arrives. Big Shaq's voice boomed across the entrance area. Several people turned to look. June walked forward, suddenly nervous. Good morning. Dr. Katal, I got your message. Yes, good timing. The large alien waved all 4 of his arms. Much to discuss. Follow me. June had to walk quickly to keep up with Big Shaq's long steps. They passed through the main doors and into a huge, round room. The ceiling was so high June couldn't see the top. People and aliens of many kinds moved about, talking in small groups or hurrying from one place to another. Sir, June said as they walked, why am I here? I was fired yesterday because I went into your lab. Fired? Yes, expected that. Big Shaq didn't slow down. Corporate rules very strict. Not important now. They entered a lift that shot upward so fast, June's stomach felt strange. When the doors opened, they were in a quieter part of the building. The walls here were covered with screens showing stars, planets, and numbers changing constantly. Big Shaq led him to a small room with a round table and 4 chairs. He pointed to one, and June sat down. Young human, Big Shaq said, sitting across from him. Your solution to my converter problem, very unusual, very effective. Thank you, sir. I'm glad I could help before I was fired. Being fired is small matter. Being special is big matter. Big Shaq pushed a tablet across the table. I have studied your file. 3 years at Earth Technical College. Good grades, but not the best. Nothing in your record shows special talent. June looked down. That wasn't exactly nice to hear. Yet. Big Shaq continued. You solved a problem that 6 senior scientists could not solve. You saw a pattern that no one else saw. Why? June thought about it. I'm not sure. The solution just seemed obvious to me. Not obvious to me. Not obvious to any Zentari scientist. Not obvious to bluefins or Crawl or any other species working. Here? Big Shaq leaned forward. Only obvious to you. Only obvious to human. He tapped the table, and a 3D image appeared above it. The atmospheric converter, but now it was working perfectly. After you left, I tested other solutions. All failed. Your method only successful one. Big Shaq's golden eyes seemed to look right through June. This means something important. What does it mean? June asked. It means humans think differently, see differently, solve differently. Big Shaq stood up. I have nominated you for special position, human apprentice at Academy. June's mouth fell open. Apprentice? At the Academy? But that's not possible. I'm just a technician. I don't have the right education or... Education not important. Thinking important. Big Shaq pointed at June's head. Your brain works in way we need. Human perspective valuable, very valuable. June couldn't believe what he was hearing. People worked their whole lives trying to get into the Academy. It was where the most important research in the galaxy happened. The committee has accepted my request, Big Shaq said. Position is yours if you want it. Pay is good. Work is important. Yes, June said at once. Yes, I want it. Big Shaq made a sound that might have been a laugh. Good answer. We start tomorrow, much to learn. As they left the room, June felt like he was dreaming. Yesterday he had been fired. Today he was being offered the chance of a lifetime. All because he had broken the rules to help fix a machine. Sometimes, he thought, smiling to himself, doing the right thing has unexpected rewards. June stood in a large round room with 12 other apprentices. 2 months had passed since he joined the Academy. Each day brought new wonders and new problems. The other apprentices came from 9 different alien species. Most were polite, but distant. A few were openly unfriendly. Today we study quantum field stabilization, said Dr. Cattell, standing at the front of the room. Very important for many applications. Work in pairs, solve problem on main screen. The other apprentices quickly formed pairs. No one moved toward June. This happened often. In the corner, Harvin, a tall, blue-skinned alien with 3 eyes, watched, him with what seemed like amusement. Looks like you're the odd one out again, human, Harvin said, walking over. His voice had a musical quality that made his unkind words sound even worse. I suppose I'm stuck with you today. June nodded. Harvin was the most brilliant mathematics expert in the group. He was also the most openly against having a human in the program. They sat at a shared workstation. The problem appeared on their screen, a complex quantum field that needed to be balanced. Harvin's long blue fingers moved quickly over the controls. I'll handle the calculations, he said. You can observe. I can help, June offered. I've been studying the humans. Lack the processing capacity for true scientific understanding, Harvin cut him off. Your brain is too small and too slow. Your presence here is merely political accommodation. June had heard this before. Many aliens believed humans were too primitive for advanced science. He took a deep breath. Let me try something, he said, reaching for the controls. Harvin made a sound like bells tinkling, his species' version of a laugh. Very well, amuse me. June worked on the problem his own way. He didn't follow the standard approach taught in the Academy. Instead, he used what Big Shaq called human intuition. When he finished, the quantum field on their screen stabilized perfectly. Harvin's 3 eyes blinked in surprise. Interesting, he admitted. Unorthodox but effective. It was a small victory. June had many similar moments in the weeks that followed. He didn't make friends, but he earned some respect. Big Shaq gave him special problems to solve and seemed pleased with his progress. Human perspective valuable, Big Shaq told him often. You see patterns others miss. 3 months after June started at the academy, he was working late in his small office. The light suddenly flickered. Then an alarm sounded. Low at first, then louder. Red lights began flashing in the hallway. Emergency alert. All personnel to safe stations, said a calm voice over the speakers. This is not a drill. June ran into the hallway. People were moving quickly toward the exit signs. He stopped one of the senior scientists, a small green alien named Dr. Meek. What's happening? June asked. Antimatter containment field failing. Dr. Meek said quickly. Very bad. Go to safe station now. Instead of following the crowd, June ran toward the central control room. If the antimatter containment failed, the explosion would destroy not just the academy, but much of the city. The control room was filled with scientists working frantically at their stations. Big Shaq stood in the center, all 4 arms moving. Across different control panels, Harvin was there too, working with 3 other mathematics experts. Field degrading at increasing rate, someone called out. Conventional stabilization protocols failing. How long until complete failure? Big, Shaq asked. 3 hours, 14 minutes, replied Harvin, looking up from his calculations. Insufficient time for full city evacuation. We must focus on saving key personnel and research data. June moved closer to the main display. It showed the antimatter containment field, a normally stable blue sphere now shot through with red cracks that were growing larger by the minute. Has anyone tried a resonance match? June asked. Harvin turned to him with all 3 eyes narrowed. Apprentice Kim, evacuation is in progress. This is not the time for human ignorance. But what if, June began. Conventional stabilization efforts are ineffective, Harvin declared loudly. I have run every standard approach. Evacuation is the only logical response. Big Shaq noticed June standing there. Young human, you should be at safe station. Sir, I think I can help, June said. Please, let me look at the field patterns. Something in his voice made Big Shaq pause. Show him, he ordered. June studied the energy patterns carefully. The containment field was designed to push against the antimatter, keeping it locked in place. But the antimatter was pushing back harder and harder. What if we think backward, June said. Instead of fighting the degradation, we could synchronize with it. Absurd, Harvin objected. That would accelerate collapse. It would be like adding energy to an already failing system. Not if we create a resonance cascade and then suddenly reverse polarity, June explained. He moved to a control station and began programming. It's like surfing a wave, then diving under it. We go with the energy, then redirect it. This approach not in any textbook, Big Shaq observed, watching over June's shoulder. No, sir, it's just human thinking. We've always had to work with chaos rather than against it. Harvin made a sound of disbelief. This is madness. You'll kill us all faster. Big Shaq raised one hand for silence. Let him try. Other options? Not working, June continued programming, feeling the weight of everyone watching him. The antimatter field on the display pulsed angry red now. Warnings flashed across every screen. Ready? June said finally. He looked at Big Shaq. This might work, or it might make things worse. Proceed, Big Shaq said. June pressed the final sequence. For a terrible moment, nothing happened. Then the red cracks in the field grew even larger. Harvin made a noise of alarm. Wait, June said. Just wait. The field pulsed once, twice, and then, as the resonance cascade June had programmed reached its peak, he triggered the polarity reversal. The energy that had been tearing the field apart suddenly folded back on itself, reinforcing the very barriers it had been breaking. The red cracks began to shrink. The warning alarms quieted. Slowly, steadily, the containment field returned to its stable blue glow. The room fell silent. Then Big Shaq began to laugh, a deep booming sound. Young human saves academy. Brilliant solution. Harvin stared at the display, his 3 eyes wide with disbelief. Impossible, he whispered. The mathematics should not have worked. Sometimes, June said quietly, you have to break the rules to fix the problem. A week after June saved the academy, things changed. People who had never spoken to him now smiled and nodded when he walked by. Harvin, The blue-skinned alien who had been his biggest critic now asked his opinion on difficult problems. "Your solution was unexpected," Harvin admitted one day as they worked together. "I have studied it carefully. The mathematics should not have worked, and yet they did." "Sometimes we need to think beyond mathematics," June said. "Sometimes we need to feel the problem." Harvin's 3 eyes blinked in confusion. "Feel? Problems cannot be felt." "Humans do it all the time," June explained. "We call it intuition." News of what happened spread through the scientific community. June found himself explaining his approach to senior scientists. They took notes and asked many questions. Some seemed confused by his answers. Others seemed excited. One morning, Big Shaq came to June's small office. The large alien had to duck to enter the doorway. "The council requests your presence," he said, his golden eyes gleaming with satisfaction. "Tomorrow. Main chamber. Very important." June felt nervous. "The council? You mean the Galactic Science Council?" "Yes, highest scientific authority in galaxy." Big Shaq made a gesture with his upper right arm. "Wear formal clothes. I will come for you at 8th hour." That night, June could hardly sleep. The Galactic Science Council was made up of the greatest scientific minds from the oldest civilizations. They directed all major research in this part of the galaxy. Why would they want to see him? The next morning, June put on his best clothes, the same blue shirt and black pants he had worn on his first day at the academy. He didn't have anything better. Big Shaq came as promised. He looked at June's clothes and made a sound that might have been a sigh. "Good enough," he said. "Come." They traveled to the top floor of the central tower, a place June had never been. The lift doors opened into a long hallway made of a pale material that seemed to glow from within. At the end was a large round door. "Council." "Chamber," Big Shaq explained. "Very old, very important. Many great decisions made here." 2 guards stood by the door. They nodded to Big Shaq and opened the door without a word. Inside was a large, round room. The walls curved up to form a dome. In the center was a round table with 13 chairs. 12 were filled with beings of different species. Some looked almost human. Others were very strange. One seemed to be made of light. Another was a cloud of small flying creatures that moved together as one. The 13th chair was empty. A woman rose from her seat. She was human, or looked human, with silver hair and dark eyes. Her face had many lines, showing great age. "June Kim of Earth," she said, her voice clear and strong. "I am Elder Minji, head of the council. Please come forward." June walked to the center of the room. His heart beat fast in his chest. "Your work at the academy has been most impressive," Elder Minji said, "particularly your recent solution to the antimatter containment failure." "Thank you, Elder," June said. "I only did what seemed right." "What seemed right to you was invisible to many others." Elder Minji smiled. "This is why you are here today." She turned to Big Shaq, who stepped forward. "For many years, I have had secret mission," Big Shaq explained. "Find species with unique thinking patterns, species who see problems differently, species who can help solve coming challenges." "Coming challenges?" June asked. Elder Minji nodded. "Our galaxy faces many threats. Climate changes on thousands of worlds, resource depletion, dying stars. Old solutions no longer work. We need new thinking." Big Shaq pointed at June. "Humans think differently. You see patterns we miss. You embrace chaos we fear. You find simple solutions where we build complex ones." Another council member spoke, a tall, thin being with skin like tree bark. "We have observed your species for many years. Most advanced civilizations believed humans too primitive, too emotional for serious scientific work." Dr. Katal disagreed. "I came to Earth 5 years ago," Big Shaq said. "Studied human science, human art, human history. Saw potential, great potential." Elder Minji walked to the empty chair at the table. She placed her hand on it. "The Galactic Science Council hereby establishes a permanent human seat," she announced. "And we ask you, June Kim, to be the first occupant." June could not speak. This was beyond anything he had imagined. Him, a simple technician who had been fired from his first job, now offered One of the highest positions in galactic science. I don't know what to say, he finally managed. Say yes, Big Shaq suggested. June thought about his journey, how he had left Earth hoping to find a place among the stars, how he had been fired for helping, how that small act had led him here. He thought about Earth and all the humans who might now have new opportunities. This wasn't just about him, this was about his entire species. I accept this honor, he said, his voice growing stronger. Not for myself, but as recognition that humanity has something special to offer the universe. Elder Minji smiled. Well said. Big Shaq led June to the empty chair. It adjusted itself as he sat down, fitting his human form perfectly. Today begins new chapter, Big Shaq said. For you, for humans, for galaxy. Around the table, the council members nodded in agreement. Even as the newest and youngest member, June felt their respect. Humanity had finally found its place among the stars. As the meeting began, June made a silent promise to himself and to the people of Earth. This was just the beginning. Human thinking would help shape the future of interstellar civilization. And it had all started because one day he had broken the rules to do what was right.